Now we will understand the absolute fundamentals of how Python interacts with files on your computer. What you will learn: how to create and write to a file using the W write mode, how to read data from a file using the R read mode, how to add data to an existing file without erasing it using the append A mode, the difference between readline and readlines, why the with statement is the professional way to handle files, it auto closes them. The final result will be you will be able to safely create, read, and update basic text files. Now, writing to a file W mode, we use the open function. Okay, we use the open function. The first argument is the file name. The second is the mode. W stands for write mode. Warning: W mode will completely erase the file if it already exists and overwrite it. So let me just quickly write file. This is the name of our file. Okay, and this is a variable, we call it file, and now I'm going to use open. And as I said that we use the open function, the first argument is the file name, so I'm going to enter my file name, and it must be enclosed and what in quotes. So let's say that my file name is demo.txt. This file will be created automatically, you don't have to worry about it. Now I need to choose the mode, so I'm gonna choose the W mode, which is the write mode. Okay, now what we need to do next, we use the write mode to inject text into the file, and we're going to use /n. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to use the write mode, and the write mode will inject some text into it. You should also know that n means next line. Okay, next line, these are basic things and we need to be aware of it. Now if I want to inject some words, some text into my file, which is named as demo, I'm gonna write file dot write. Okay, and let's say that I write hello, 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 and then I'm gonna say YouTube, and I will go to the next line. This is the text that I injected into my file, and my file name is demo. You need to understand it as well. Now if I want to add something else, then file dot write and welcome to, this is, let's say that I could say this is line 2, and I will go to the next line. Critical: when you open a file manually, it stays locked in your computer's RAM. You must call close to save the data and unlock the file. If you forget, your data might vanish. So the next thing you need to do is you need to close your file dot close. I will also talk about the with statement later, which is also very interesting. Now the second most important thing that you need to understand is the reading mode from a file, also called R mode. Okay, you inject these things, okay, this text in your file named demo. Now you need to read this file out to your audience, to yourself, okay, to display it. Now what we need to do, we are going to use the R mode, and R stands for read mode. This is the default mode in Python. So file and demo.txt, and I'm going to choose the R mode. First I chose the W mode, which is right. The second time I read the R mode, which is for read. Okay, now the next thing that I need to do is I'm gonna grab the read. Okay, let me just quickly write it for you. Read brackets grabs the entire file and pulls it into memory is one single giant string. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a variable. I'm gonna call it content. In content, I'm gonna use the file.read, and what it will do, it will display whatever we have injected in our text demo, and I'm gonna print the content. Now I also need to close my file. Now you could see when I run it, when I run my file, you see that hello YouTube. Okay, this is the text I injected in my file demo, and I also injected this is line 2, and all these files have been read through the command R, and I print the content, and you will see that demo.txt, this file is already created here automatically, and here you can see that hello world, and this is line 2, this is already saved in this file. Okay, let me just a little bit small. I hope so far it is clear. Now sometimes a file is too big to read, so for that we need to do read line by line, and to do that we are going to use the read mode. Okay, file is equal to quality demo.xr. Okay, but this time I'm gonna use the command read line. Okay, and read line needs exactly one line from where the cursor currently is. So let's set it line 1. Okay, and I want to read the line 1 of the text, and what I am going to do is that I am going to call the variable file dot read line, file dot read line, not lines, line. And now I'm going to print my variable line 1, and don't forget to close it. Okay, now if I run it, you can see that my line 1 is hello YouTube. Okay, and when I run it, you can see below here that hello YouTube has been printed, which is our line 1. Similarly, you can print any line you want to, and it is very important. Now one more interesting thing that you need to know, the read lines, which is quite fascinating. Read lines reads the whole file but puts each line is an item inside a Python list. So let me again just come to the read mode, and let me just create a variable lines list, and I'm gonna just call it file dot read lines. It is not line, it is lines. Okay, now it will put each line as an atom inside a Python list. Now I'll just print line list, and don't forget to close it, file dot close. Okay, now you will see that when I run it, you can see here that the whole line 1 is hello YouTube. It is inserted inside a list, and this is one item for us, and line 2 is another item for us. Okay, so read lines just put the lines in the form of a list. Now sometimes you just want to add more lines. Okay, you want to just do the appending, you want to do more lines, so you have to come to the A mode. Okay, and A stands for append. Unlike W, A mode doesn't erase the file. It moves the cursor to the very end and adds new data. So file, open demo.txt, but here now I will replace R with A. And again, I'm going to just come to the file.write, and here I just said this is, let's suppose this is line 3. No, this is it, so that let's say this is line 3, and I will also say that it is added later, and I'll come to the next line, and I will also close the file. Okay, now I will come to the pro way, the professional way, and that is called, let's say, the pro way, which is with statement. The with statement is called a context manager. Why use it? It automatically closes the file for you the moment the indented block ends. Even if your program crashes with an error inside the block, no more forgetting file.close. So you don't have to put the file.close all the time when you're using the with statement. Okay, so let's say with open is file, and let's say content, and file.read. Now let me just print the content. You can see below that this is line 2, this is line 3 added here. So all these things are included inside the text. And here you can see hello YouTube, this is line 2 and this is line 3, which we append later. But here we have not used the file.close, because when you're using with statement, then you don't have to use that file.close command. Now if you try to read file here, it is already closed safely by Python, so you don't have to worry about that.